Hi Scorpio, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be your general love reading from September 19th through the 30th, 2017. I apologize that they're late getting out. There's a lot that's been going on in my personal life, and I know that these are late. I do apologize, but thank you so much for being here, and thank you for those of you who have been so patient and wonderful. If this doesn't resonate with you, please be sure to check your moon and rising sign, and then you can also check your Venus sign and the other person's Mars sign. That'll give you kind of more of a well-rounded picture of what's going on. If you'd like a personal reading from me, check the description box below. Takes you through that process, lets you know what the pricing is and all of that. And I think that's it. So beyond that, let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we've got. The first card that I got for you here is the Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like this Eight of Pentacles is a position of finally getting like sheer footing in like the mastery of something. So with the Eight of Pentacles, it's somebody who has started off from like an apprenticeship type position and built themselves up to a position of mastery. So I feel like it's something that there's been a lot of effort put into. It's a lot of hard work, and it's something that you take pride in. It could be that the relationship itself is something that's been worked very hard on. Some of you could be dealing with an earth sign, so it could be a Virgo, a Capricorn, or a Taurus that you're dealing with, but I do feel like there is an energy of, it's like a cohesive energy of something that is being built effectively. It's something that has come to a place where it's starting to be mastered almost. So it's like, it's kind of like when I think of a, like mastery, I think of somebody who is gradually sanding something down and shaping it until it creates the shape that they're looking for. I feel like that it's that gradual energy, it's that day by day type of, you know, consistent energy that is building into something. And that's what this Eight of Pentacles is representing. So some of you may be have been working very hard toward building some sort of stability in a situation. It could be financially, it could be in the relationship, it could be both. And then the next card that we have is an Ace of Pentacles. So again, you could be dealing with an earth sign. This is a new beginning that I feel like brings some financial gain for some of you. I feel like it is something that is, like it works toward your ultimate stability or your long-term goals. So again, it could be that there is a new opportunity for you. It could be that literally an earth sign walks into the situation who brings about this new beginning on stable ground. But I feel like it's something that is kind of like an aha moment that brings some fresh energy geared toward reaching a goal. And then the next card that we have here is the Ten of Swords. So it is a feeling of being stabbed in the back or disappointed about something. It could be that things end up crumbling in some sort of way. I feel like this is something that may be like, perhaps this Ace of Pentacles is something that builds up a lot of anticipation and then there's a letdown. And that could really suck for some of you. It also could be that you've begun building something perhaps stable with somebody that has shaken that stability for you in some sort of way. It could be that something pops up that really shakes that stability, or it could be vice versa. This could be you as well. And then the next card that we have for you is the Hermit. So you could be dealing with a Virgo. The Hermit card, though, to me is someone who is really doing some deep introspection and kind of isolation to pull away from the outside world and really do some soul searching for themselves. So I feel like it's in a search for healing after this Ten of Swords moment. And again, the Ten of Swords is a feeling of like the worst of it is over and now the rebuilding is happening. And keep in mind, like I'd said before, these energies are energies that existed before this time period. They're going to continue to exist after this time period. It's not like they all hit whammo and all this big stuff happens during this time. But I feel like the seeds of these things are being sown during this time period. So this is where this is starting to take place. These shifts are starting to happen. So I do feel like that within this time period, somebody's going to start to do some deep introspection and maybe pulling away, because there is going to be some sort of, it's either it'll feel like maybe a betrayal or a huge letdown for somebody. It could be something along the lines of like a broken promise. And somebody's really thinking about whether or not they're going to put up, like whether or not they can do this in the long run. Because I feel like it's affecting their stability. And directly under this Ace of Pentacles, we have the Three of Swords. So some of you could be dealing with a literal third-party situation. But there is, again, this heartache, and it's definite. It definitely affects more than one person. It's heartache all around. It's not just one party hurting. But it is a heartbreak type of a card. So I feel like whatever this is, it's extremely difficult. But it's directly under this Ace of Pentacles, so I feel like there is something that's going on that's affecting somebody's feeling of stability to the point that it's heartbreaking. And they're literally isolating and pulling themselves away. And then at the end of that, we have the Ace of Wands. So somebody does take action. Somebody does something. Somebody just definitely decides to take some action. It could be that somebody starts coming in with messages of love or passion there, to try and get a new beginning going with someone, because they don't want this to end, even though this heartbreak is here. But I feel like since this Ace of Wands is directly under this Ten of Swords, it could be a situation where it may be too little too late. So let's see what we get when we go through and clarify here. Please clarify this Eight of Pentacles. Okay, well, there you are. Okay, so on top of the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Moon. Some of you could be dealing with a Cancer or a Pisces. I feel like, though, there is some sort of things that are unseen as far as this Eight of Pentacles, this mastery of a situation. I feel like perhaps that's an illusion. Maybe somebody's letting you think that you have more stability than you have. Or perhaps it could be too, perhaps I said that incorrectly. It could be too that somebody is learning to hone in on their intuition and kind of master their intuition. And it's opening your eyes to some things that maybe you had been unseen before. Because the Moon can represent recognizing things that are unseen, but it can also represent confusion and deception. So I feel like for some of you, it may be that this idea of stability is a deception. It's something that perhaps is kind of an illusion. And so I feel like it's kind of cautionary to make sure that you aren't putting too much of your own resources towards something where you wouldn't be okay if it didn't go through. I feel like it's a message for some of you. And that's certainly not a wide range. I just feel like that's a message for some of you. But it could also be that there is some underhanded or deceptive behavior going on, or perhaps some hidden things happening that you don't know about that would affect the stability that you've been working so hard to build. Please clarify this Ace of Pentacles here for Scorpio for love, for September 19th through the 30th. Okay. And then on top of the Ace of Pentacles, we have the King of Swords. So some of you could be dealing with an air sign. You could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And on top of this Ace of Pentacles, it could be, too, that you're dealing with something that is very stable and it's very smart. Like it's something that intellectually makes sense as far as this financial decision or this financial new beginning. It's something that it's almost as though you are in complete control in one situation in your life, like this financial side of your life or this work. You're the boss, you're in control, but it could be that in this personal life there's a lot of confusion. I don't know why I'm getting the work so much in that there, but I feel like that's what it is in regards to financially, I think a lot of you are on the rise, or things are going well, either for you or the other person, but then there's this deception on their romantic relationship level, or confusion perhaps, that I feel like that's where this imbalance comes into play for you. Please clarify this 10 of Swords here for Scorpio for love. Okay. And on top of the 10 of Swords, we have the Temperance. The Temperance card, it can represent Sagittarius, so some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. It also represents, though, moderation in all things. So I feel like perhaps there has been an energy of excess toward maybe work. It could be that a lot of you have been so focused on work or focused on the financial aspect of things, or vice versa. Perhaps you were too focused on the relationship and not so much focused on the financial side of things. Or perhaps some of you were caught up in your dreams so much and trying to make these dreams come true so much with this Moon card here that it has put you into a situation where things were maybe starting to go out of control financially. And so this new beginning that comes along allows you to pick up from this like disaster, this 10 of Swords, to be able to get moderation in place for everything, and really to put together things, to make priority, like put your priorities in order. I feel like that's what the Temperance is kind of representing here. This 10 of Swords happens because somebody's priorities get out of order completely, and it throws everything off. But the Temperance does represent somebody who's not reacting in extremes in any one particular way. It's not screaming and fighting and yelling. It's somebody who isn't, like, she's, for some reason I get this Zen type feeling. Like she's just in the Zen zone. She's good. The Zen zone. Whatever. But see, this, you know, this energy, she's very calm. She's very balanced. And there's nothing disruptive about her. She's got the light over her head, so her intuition is in tune here. So I definitely feel like that's what this energy is saying, is this moderation is something that's going to carry you through. So let's see what this Hermit card is about here. Please clarify this Hermit card here for Scorpio for love for September 19th through the 30th, 2017. Please show me what. Okay. So on top of the Hermit, we have the 5 of Swords here. The 5 of Swords is an energy of, I feel like in this position on top of that Hermit, it's somebody who is willing to seek the truth at any cost. So it's almost like somebody starts digging, perhaps. Somebody really starts digging into things that maybe they haven't been digging into, and they're starting to find more information, I feel like, in this situation. Or somebody is feeling like things have been unfair. Something has been unfairly done or unjustly done, and so that isolate and pull away from the situation entirely because there's like a double standard or something, and somebody's really doing some deep introspection or evaluation about whether this is something that they want in their life at all. Please clarify this 3 of Swords here for Scorpio for love for September 19th through the 30th, 2017. Please show me what messages you have for Scorpio. Please show me what messages you have for Scorpio for love for September 19th through the 30th, 2017. Please show me what this 3 of Swords is. What is this 3 of Swords about? Please clarify this 3 of Swords. Okay. So on top of the 3 of Swords, we have the 10 of Cups. It could be that some of you may be dealing with a literal third-party situation where somebody has made a choice. And it may look like to the other party that whoever made the choice is going to live this happily ever after and be emotionally fulfilled. And it could be gut-wrenching for that person. It could be a very, very painful situation. Or it could be that you may have to hurt somebody in order to get to this position yourself. This is definitely, I feel like, is your energy here with all these cups. Because, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way, but it's directly on top of this Three of Swords. So I get that dynamic when it comes to Scorpio. It's so extreme between this absolute heartbreak and then this total emotional fulfillment and happiness. I feel like it just speaks to the definite waves within the sign itself. It's really cool. I mean, it's cool the level that you're able to feel things, and I guess maybe just because I can kind of feel that, maybe it's cool to me because it's kind of like, yeah, that's intense both ways, but it's so, like, it's cool. Anyways, so I feel like with this 10 of Cups on top of this 3 of Swords, it could be that somebody's making a decision that leads them to emotional fulfillment, but it really hurts somebody, and that hurts them because they care about that person that it hurts. I also feel like this could be for some of you that it's almost like you have to go through this process of overcoming this pain in order to achieve this 10 of Cups, because I feel like it's an energy that is like this 10 of Cups on top of the 3 of Swords is saying this happiness is just on the other side of this. Just on the other side of this really crappy part right here is the happiness. So let's see what this Ace of Wands is about. Please clarify this Ace of Wands for Scorpio, for love. Okay. We had a couple jumpers, so I'm going to take this one because it fell apart from the rest of the class. This is an 8 of Wands. So this is, again, on top of this Ace of Wands with this 8 of Wands, this is fast-moving energy. This is somebody doing something. Somebody's making a pretty big move here. It could literally be a physical move, like moving away. But this is very fast-moving, like communication through either text messaging or emails or perhaps online dating for some of you. But I feel like it's very active, fast-moving energy towards something. So there's an end goal. It's passionate for sure for a lot of you. And it's taking this action. So there's this spark of action that's this idea of, hey, we should kind of, something. And then that 8 of Wands takes off with this full-on energy of that, okay, we're going to, whatever you decided to do, I guess. This is action behind it. So there is momentum here. Again, I feel like for some of you, it could be that somebody needs to put their foot down and finally cut off something that is painful in order for them to have this happiness. But then once they do that, things just take off. It's this new beginning with passion and all the excitement in the world. This is an adventure, I feel like, for somebody. So there's definitely some very positive energy here toward the end as well for you. So let me know what's going on, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll speak with you soon.